Metro FM's pivotal conversation presents the future of the boy child that will feature Sabby Mtshali, Tebogo Proverb Thekisho and Quinton Naked Masina as they convene for a thought-provoking discussion on redefining societal expectations and empowering the next generation of male leaders. So today they are challenging the traditional narratives surrounding masculinity and exploring the complexities faced by young boys and men in modern society. Joining us now is Mthanyelwa, the spokesperson for EmpowaMen. Very good morning to Josh. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good to see you. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
First of all, how do we redefine masculinity to promote or embrace positive change?
Yeah, first we need to talk about that men are in the crossroad.
Yes.
Remember that as men were told that you are a provider, you're a protector. But then if your wife earns more than you, who's providing? You know, if your wife, she's a police officer, if the attack comes at night and she has a gun and she protects the family, does that make you less of a man because now you're being protected? Well, so I'm just saying things are changing. Men are at the crossroads. They don't know what to do now with the whole thing, that because yeah.
And how do you think that definition of masculinity has actually shaped the experiences of young men in general, and boys in society?
You see, the issue of boys is the one that is a serious one.
Yes.
Yeah, because how we raise boys, you know, like a boy will be playing and fall, and the mother will say, no, we don't cry. Couples, they don't cry, you know. Somehow they teaching him to inhabit the pain inside of him.
And suppressing his emotions.
To suppress his emotion, and he grows with that. And he can't be vulnerable, he can't be open because society has told him that he must be strong, he must not do anything. But also you must know the issue of a boy child is one of a serious one. When he becomes a toddler, he plays in dangerous areas, he dies. When he becomes a teenager, he joins the gang because he's looking for affirmation. Remember, 60% of boys are raised by single parents or single mothers. You know, so there's no positive role models. When he turns 18, he joins the taxi industry. Maybe he dies there, you know. So I will say a boy child is an endangered species.
And how do traditional narratives about masculinity affect the mental state, the mental health of boys in general, and growing up to becoming whatever their parents or the guardians or, you know, the societal expectations would expect of them? Yeah.
Society has told men to not speak up, to say, keep it inside of you, don't talk about it. There's even a Sisutu saying, you know, he does not speak. So, but I think it affects men because you need to talk to somebody. Yes. Yeah, that's why in EmpowaMen, we're creating this space and to say, this is a vulnerable space, this is a non-judgmental space. As a man, you can come there and you speak to other men.
And how does your organization then address the stigma around vulnerability and emotional expression in men?
Yeah, I think as an organization, we're trying to also to change certain words like vulnerability. Men, when you say vulnerability, they think that's being weak. Rather use the word openness. You know, can you be open? Because when it says when you're vulnerable, he thinks he can't protect, he can't do anything, you know. Indeed. But it says, can you be open about your issues? But also what we have done is that we've collaborated with other organizations that are doing men's work to say, come, let's talk to men, here's the space. Because you see the problem with men, we like to self-medicate in many times. Men, they don't want to go to therapy. Men, they don't want to go to hospital, you know. But if you say a man in hospital, you must know that it was really difficult. It was it was bad. Yeah. No.
Any specific challenges that young men in particular face, you know, that are often overlooked or underrepresented in discussions about men's mental health?
Yeah. You see, men are suffering in silence. You know, and there's a lot of things that are overlooked. Like, for instance, boys will find that because of the absence of his father, he wants to talk about that, and the mother does not want to talk about it because the conversation about the father is the painful one. Yeah. So every time he raises that, Lord, I want to know my identity, I want to know my lineage, and the mother will say, I don't want to talk about it. Is it you eat here in this family? We give you food here. Why do you want to know about your father? So it becomes a difficult one. Then they suppress this, but then they numb them through drugs. You can see more of our boys, they are doing drugs. More of our boys are in rehabilitation centers. More of our boys are in prison. It's because that has been suppressed, but it gets exhibited in a bad way.
And what's even worse, suppressing those emotions, some even resort to being violent, or being physically violent to other people just to kind of suppress whatever, emotions that they've been going through as they were, growing older. So let's talk about today's discussions. So who will be there and what are some of the topics to be on the table?
We'll be having about 45 speakers and about 17 topics, and we'll be having Dr. John Khan as our keynote, and we'll be talking about men and his family, men and drugs, the issues of the future of a boy child, men's wealth. We'll be talking also about things that really affects men in terms of their mental health.
Right.
Yeah.
All the best today, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Looking forward. Let all men come.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a real men's conference.
Yes. The actual men's conference.
Not the 14th of February one. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, that was the spokesperson for EmpowaMen, Mthanyelwa, discussing with us a thought-provoking conversation on redefining masculinity and empowering the next generation.